Hey everyone, what's up? It's Ventus with Fire Emblem Heroes, and this is going to be a commentary on the Lloyd White Wolf Grand Hero Battle. If you're looking for a guide for Lunatic, just skip ahead a couple minutes. I'm going to start by going onto hard, and this is just to take a look at the map, nothing else really. I'm going to breeze through it with my arena team for this week. On Lunatic, I'm going to use a different team, I'm going to use a less powerful team, and also I'm going to talk about the skills and stats. Last Grand Hero battle, I went over the skills and stats for both difficulties. There's really no point to talk about them on hard. Lunatic is the one that most people care about, so I'm just going to do it for that one. Saves us some time as well. But before I start, there's something wrong with the screen right now. Lloyd's face. I mean, we all know that Lloyd's face, there's something wrong with it, but let's make his face a little more appropriate. I mean, you're not going to see much of a difference, if at all. There we go. Got that what face on. The artist really dropped the ball on his art, I think. Just everything about him. The last decade or so has not been very kind to him. Alright, let's begin. So the map is pretty straightforward. Lloyd is tucked away in a corner and there are two columns separated by a river. Basically, these units are going to funnel down one of these columns depending on where you go, depending on what units you have. In most cases, they're going to funnel down this way. And I don't know if they were trying to simulate the Ursula map, but this is a lot easier than the Ursula map. Because the Ursula map has, like, what, 6 tiles you can stand on? This one you can actually manipulate the movement a little better. The units themselves are not that threatening. As you'll see very shortly, I'm just going to play it. Again, I'll talk about his stats and skills on Lunatic, so just enjoy the massacre for this one. Okay, so I'm going to swap Xander with Xander. I'm going to move Xander up. And this tile here, the only enemy unit that can reach this tile is the archer. So this guy obviously can't reach. Lloyd can't reach. Goes up to there. Cavalry here and the mage there, they only go up to here. So unfortunately for this guy, he's going to be in a world of hurt. So move everyone up. Just posturing for next turn, giving Xander the buff. Unfortunately, I actually can't kill the Bow Cavalier. It's a bit unfortunate. This is without skill inheritance on, because the most recent battle I did was without skill inheritance. So this is just... Oh, and animations are on because of arena. So I don't want to tank all their attacks. There's just too much damage. Even though they're level 30s. Gonna try and at least strategize a bit, so I'm going to kite back. I think one of the best strategies you can have on this map is to just kite back. And you'll see later on Lunatic that there's going to be a lot of kiting back, because there's some really bad AI decisions, like right there, the reposition. Reposition is very useful to move someone out of range, right? Or to move someone in range if you're the one controlling the reposition character. But unfortunately, it doesn't really work well for AI. If you're in range at all of a unit, then they're going to reposition them out of the way. Even though, like, you can't lose a unit, right? It's okay if they lose a unit, but you can't lose a unit because it's Grand Hero Battle, and they don't realize that, unfortunately. So I'm just going to run up and kill Lloyd. He takes a lot of damage. Very painful. And standing on this tile allows the... or disallows, I should say, the archer to move forward and attack Camilla. Although I don't think Camilla would die to the archer. The archer is pretty strong, though. He's got death blow. Finally, they attack Xander. Camilla finishes the map. Easy. Hard mode is really easy. These units aren't even that good. You can use way better units. You can use like dancers and archers, blade tomes, all that stuff. But we're not going to use any of that for today. Usually that's what I do. The last couple Grand Hero battles have been like that, but I'm not going to do that for today. So let's skip ahead to the Lunatic run and we'll see what happens. I think this is the first Grand Hero battle on Lunatic that I actually finished in one try. Because usually what I do is I lower the bar really low and I'm like, okay, what if I try this with this kind of crappy team? Turns out the kind of crappy team actually did its job. So this is the kind of crappy team. Sully, Sapphire Lance with Swordbreaker, Narcian, Emerald Axe with Lancebreaker, Setsuna, Assassin's Bow, Bowbreaker. This is actually not relevant. Don't use Setsuna. I think almost any other archer would work better. Because for some reason I thought that the Cavalier actually doubles or has decent speed. But turns out it has like 20-something speed. Palla, very similar to these two. It's the ruby sword, but no breaker, unfortunately. So we're actually going to look at the map now. We're gonna look at the stats and the skills of the characters, and I'll go over certain things in more detail compared to the hard mode one, because the hard mode was just, you know, breezing through it. Okay, so this actually doesn't matter. The positioning doesn't matter here. Let's take a look at the stats. The Axe Flyer is the first unit on the left side. It's got 1, 2, 3 attack range. So this thing's skill is Life and Death 3 plus attack and speed minus defense and res. It makes this unit extremely powerful in exchange for being squishy. But the thing about being squishy is that even with -5 in the resist stat, it still has 32 resist. That's really crazy. So you probably won't be using magic attacks on this Axe Flyer. Also, because the Axe Flyer is so damn fast, there are very few units that can actually double the Axe Flyer. So you need to rely on hard-hitting physical attacks to take down the Axe Flyer. Second ability is Lunge. So the moment this unit initiates combat with one of your units, at the end of combat, they swap places, if possible. So obviously, Setsuna can't be swapped into a mountain, but Setsuna won't be tanking this hit anyway. Gonna make sure that she doesn't. That'd be really stupid. The final skill for this unit is Threaten Speed. At the beginning of the unit's turn, if there are any enemy units, your units, within 2 range of it, they lose 5 speed. But the thing is, Threaten Speed's purpose is basically to lower your speed so that this unit can double. But like I said, just use tanky physical units and you should be fine against this guy. Weapon is the Silver Axe Plus. There's no attribute, really. It's just a high attack weapon. That's it. Okay, the Lance Cavalier. 49 HP, 50 attack, 25 speed, 26 defense, 30 resistance. So there's a trend right now. Lower defense, higher resistance. Skills are Armored Blow 3. When attacking, unit gets +6 defense. Second one is Lunge. Same thing as this one. When it attacks, it swaps positions with you. Last one is Hone Cavalry. For some reason, these two are not positioned together, so they don't actually buff each other at the beginning of turn 1. And the only 2 units on the map that benefit from cavalry buffs are these two. A little bit strange. But yeah, this is potentially threatening. It's 6 attack and speed, very powerful. Units that have the same speed as the bow guy will get doubled once this buff is applied. If it gets applied. Silver Lance Plus, high damage weapon, that's it. Reposition, takes a unit, swings them 2 tiles away, essentially repositioning them. Usually, what the AI does is, if one of the enemy units is within range of your units, they will get repositioned out of the way. Because it's an assist, the assist type unit will go after the units without assists. That's generally how the AI works. If they both have assists, then it's a different type of priority. Bow Cavalier. This guy's really powerful. High attack, 53 attack with a buff. This guy gives +4 attack. This is Hone attack. 48 HP, 25 defense and 24 resistance. Decently bulky. Probably not going to kill him in 1 turn unless you double him. And even if you double him, you're going to have to hit him really hard. Speed is absolute garbage, 23 speed. Skills are Death Blow 3. So on top of potentially getting +6 attack from this guy, +4 attack from this guy, this unit also gets +6 attack when initiating combat, potentially giving the unit 61 attack. This guy has 61 attack potentially. That's really scary. Luckily, he doesn't double almost anyone. So that's the good thing. Bad thing is, he has Swordbreaker. So if you have a sword user in range, he will double. Now, I don't know if this was a mistake, but if the Bow Cavalier was here, it would go 1, 2, 3, attack this tile. And with Swordbreaker, what that means is when you try and send in a sword unit to tank up this guy, the sword user dies. There are not many sword users that can actually walk onto this tile. Actually, there aren't any sword users that can walk onto this tile except for Palla and Sita. And they get wrecked by bows and Swordbreaker. So, yeah, I don't know if it was a mistake with the positioning, but I feel like these two should have buffed each other, and this guy should have been in range of that, because the Swordbreaker seems like it's meant to counter this tile, but nope, apparently not. Maybe it was like that originally, and they thought it was too hard. It would make the map a lot harder. But fortunately for us, this guy is out of position. This is the only tile he can attack, the max tile he can attack. Nobody else is actually in attack range of that tile. So even though he hits really hard, he's got low speed, and he doesn't get an assist from anyone. Just don't use sword users, obviously. His final skill is Fortify Cavalry. Adjacent cavalry units, basically this guy, gets +6 into defense and resistance at the beginning of their turn. It's not that good of a buff, but it does mean this guy gets pretty tanky. So he becomes more difficult to one-shot, and in some situations you actually can't kill him because of this buff, so that's something to keep in mind. His weapon is just the Silver Bow Plus, nothing special. The final unit on the map is the Blue Mage, 45 HP, really tanky for a mage. 44 attack, 32 speed, pretty good speed as well. It's a little bit lower than Tharja level speed, pretty bad defense, and pretty good resist. Again, the trend, low defense, high resist. I wonder what that means. Skills are Darting Blow 3, so similar to Tharja, similar speed, similar skill. When attacking, this unit will get +6 speed. Click that. Oh yeah. Second skill, Dagger Breaker. I don't know why you would ever run Dagger Breaker on this map. And on top of that, let's say you have like Kagero or something. Kagero one-shots this guy. Without buffs, Kagero, a T5 Kagero has 60 attack against infantry. So without buffs, this guy has 5 HP remaining after the attack. One attack. If you buff her, she one-shots this guy. So I don't know what this Dagger Breaker is doing. I guess if you do use other dagger users, it could be potentially a threat, but it's a little bit weird to me. Especially considering the map is not even full of infantry. There's 2 infantry units. I mean, I guess other dagger users work, but other dagger users are not that good. So it's very questionable, the skill here. It's a lot of things on this map that are kind of questionable, which is what reduces the difficulty of the map. Not sure if they did it intentionally to make the map easier. Yeah, that's just the way it is. Third skill is Hone Attack 3. That's what's giving this guy +4 attack. And for weapon, Thoron plus just a powerful Thunder Tome. Rally defense. Rally defense actually is not good. And I mean not good for them. Because I mentioned earlier, assists will go second, generally speaking. But if a unit is about to initiate an attack, or a unit is within the enemy's attack range, or is about to be counterattacked, then the rally goes first. And because this is a defensive rally, it's even more questionable, because the enemies will always attack first. They have more range than you. You can't just walk in here, unless you have like Hector or something. If you have Hector, just do whatever you want. That's Hector, I guess. But in general, if you use lower tiered units, weaker units, you're not going to go in here. So the rally defense doesn't make any sense. Another questionable skill. Rally attack would make more sense, but you know, there's already a Hone attack here. So rally in general is questionable here. It's just really weird. Why would you have a rally here instead of like a drawback or something, just to keep you safe? Because these units are going to run ahead. But, you know, whatever. That's just how it is. It makes the map easier. No complaints. The final unit on the map is obviously Lloyd, the boss, the Whatface. And Lloyd is a pretty terrible unit. Pretty terrible. He might be the worst unit we've gotten in a Grand Hero battle yet. I don't know. Maybe. It's because he has Pass. Like, Pass is seriously such a terrible skill. Okay, so he has 57 HP, which is really high. 48 attack is essentially, considering his weapon's might, is 32 attack. So he has a average attack. Average attack is around like 30 to 35. Below average is like 25 to 30, and then below that it's like garbage tier like Odin, 20 to 25 attack or so. So he has a pretty average attack. It's not that great. Speed is 36. This is, keep in mind, this is neutral. So assuming that his stats are the same when you get him, aside from HP, obviously, because HP is always inflated. If he has the same speed, this is actually pretty good. 36 speed is pretty good as neutral. Average speed is like 30 to 35. Neutral. He's not going to be like Lonku level speed, but he's still pretty fast. If you put skills on him, like Life and Death or Fury or whatever, his speed actually goes up to a pretty respectable amount. His defense is complete garbage. His resistance is actually really good. So again, this is the trend for the map. Low defense, high resist. Except for the Bow Cavalier, all the units on the map are like that. So use physical damage. His C slot is Threaten Attack. So if you're within 2 range of him at the beginning of the turn, you lose 5 attack. It's pretty straightforward. It's not that great. Again, like this unit is pretty awful. Honestly, I feel like he's like Robin tier. Female Robin tier for Grand Hero Battle units. I think Narcian's better. Michaelis is better, I think. Zephyl's obviously really good. Xander's obviously like really, really good. After Inheritance, of course. I mean, before Inheritance, Xander's pretty bad too. But Lloyd is like a whole new level of bad, so you're going to have to inherit him. His special is Iceberg. 3 cooldown, 50% of his resist, so he deals 15 bonus damage. It's a good skill. His weapon is the interesting one. He has a legendary weapon, the Regal Blade. 16 might, 1 range. If the foe's HP is at 100% before combat starts, Lloyd receives +2 speed and attack during combat. It's kind of similar to Xander's skill from Fates. That's the only one that I can think of that it really reminds me of. Xander gets like +2 attack and defense or something. No. It doesn't work that way in Fates. It's +2 damage dealt, -2 damage taken. That's what it is. So it's 2 bonus damage, 2 damage reduction. And that's all that this thing reminds me of. I mean, we have skills like Celica's Ragnarok now, which is +5 attack and +5 speed when she's at full HP. Yeah, so we're actually getting a lot more of these kinds of skills. They're pretty interesting, but Lloyd's doesn't feel very good. This is like the Binding Blade of the new types of weapons. Although this is better than Binding Blade. This is like the offensive version of Binding Blade. But it only activates if the foe's HP is 100%. So there's that little bit of a caveat there. But yeah, I think the Regal Blade is the only thing that Lloyd really has going for him. I mean, Iceberg is pretty good too, I guess. But like he's just a pretty mediocre unit overall. I don't think many people will be using feathers to promote him. Unless they really like him, but his art is questionable. Like, even if you look at his sprite, look at his sprite. His sprite's got that darker color, right? Darker color is very similar to what he looks like in the original games. The original game he comes from. I mean, you can't really tell from his face because it's like deformed. Super deformed. I mean, this face is pretty deformed too, but in a different way. Yeah, they really dropped the ball in his art. But anyway, let's get back to the map. Let's actually get to the map. Kind of hinted at it, but the map is pretty straightforward. This is the free tile that is only attacked by 1 unit. And you'll see very shortly how I will do it. Okay, so Setsuna with Bowbreaker goes here. But it doesn't matter. This guy's going to attack me once. I'm going to counterattack twice. The Bowbreaker does nothing. So don't use Setsuna. All you're going to have is a Gimped Archer. This is a plus attack Setsuna, and she's this weak. Obviously, she's not T5, but still. Just use someone else. Anyone else. I mean, assuming they have enough speed to not get doubled, or to double back. So like George, even Virion does okay. So I repositioned this way so that Sully gives +2 defense with Spur. But unfortunately, like, what is this? 8 damage dealt, 33 damage taken. Are you kidding me? Don't use Setsuna here. So the Cavalier repositions the bow guy, and then Lloyd walks in range. This is because the bow guy is within counterattack range from your units, and the AI senses, oh, this guy's in danger, let's get him out of the way. But unfortunately, this is actually bad for the enemy, because now I can kite back freely and not have to worry about it. So the axe guy is going forward, going after Setsuna and Sully, trying to avoid Palla, because Palla deals with the axe really easily due to the ruby sword. So for this turn, it's just a kite back turn. All I do is run back. I could attack, but that'd be suicide, so don't do that. But at this point, I'm kind of worried, because the enemy is clumped up together, which means they're going to push forward, and I know that Setsuna does no damage. She does abysmal damage against this guy, and with the rally defense, with the Hone attack, with the Hone cavalry, fortified cavalry on this guy, the only unit that I can actually do damage to is the Flier. So again, just don't use Setsuna. Use someone with actual attack stats. There are probably some people out there that are like, oh, Setsuna's so good. People that are like tier list loyalists. I hate to break it to you, but Setsuna is completely overrated. But, you know, that's a topic for another time. The topic now is dealing with Lloyd. So I'm just cutting back. Gonna cut back fully. Wings of Mercy in range? Oh yeah, Wings of Mercy. Good job. So with the full kite back, another reposition goes off. Because Setsuna's here, she can go 1-2, attack this tile. This guy's like, oh no. The 0 attack archer is going to chunk the Flier, but not kill, of course. And then she's going to die the turn after, but he doesn't realize that. So I'm going to reposition the Axe Flier out of range, and the Axe Flier will no longer be a threat, essentially. And now the map looks a little bit easier to me, a little more manageable, because the buffer gets stuck in the back. The reposition here is actually going to slow down their progression, so it's mainly these three that I got to deal with now. So obviously I don't want Narcian to be in range of the archer. Narcian has an emerald axe, even though his resist is kind of low. It's only got 24 resist. It's a T4 Narcian. This guy's not going to hit him for much damage, because the emerald axe is OP. Against blues anyway. That's basically all it does. So I'm actually going to put Narcian here to bait this guy out of range. Testing Palla's damage. Palla does like no damage. She's got pretty garbage in all stats. Only thing going for her is the ruby sword. So if she's not attacking a green, it's not really going to do much. T4 plus attack Setsuna deals 13 damage to Lloyd. And Lloyd is squishy. So just, you know, keep that in mind. Sully, obviously really good. Sapphire Lance does a lot of damage, reduces Lloyd's damage by even more. And Swordbreaker makes it so that his higher speed is irrelevant. Very good unit for this map. You can also use like Tsubaki or something. He would work too, and he has quick riposte to double back. So that's another option. But the problem is that the bow progresses forward much faster, and if Tsubaki takes a hit from this guy, he's probably going to explode. Even though his defense is pretty good, it's like 30. So there's clearly a threat here. The biggest threat is the archer with 5 effective range. I'm going to kite back. And because I know that the archer can't kill Setsuna, she's going to use her reciprocal aid and heal herself using Palla's HP, because I figure that Palla is not going to be very useful. The mage gets baited, Birthright AI, and this guy also gets baited. He realizes Narcian has the highest DPS out of all the units here against the blue mage. So I am going to save my blue mage friend from the scary, evil axe user. And he does that. So now, this unit is completely isolated. The priority is, most likely, what I think the priority would have been was, if my units do more damage to this guy, he repositions this guy back. If my unit does more damage to this guy, he'll reposition this guy back. The archer is actually decently tanky physically. There are 3 physical units here. All of them have low attack. Sully's attack is pretty low. Palla's attack is pretty low. The reason they're strong is because they're strong against the colors that they counter. That's it. Setsuna, she doesn't really do anything. She just does low damage. So he's like, oh, these guys are not a threat to the archer. The archer can survive. No. Doesn't work that way, because if you isolate a unit like this, the unit's going to die. Luckily for me, you'll see very soon. Very lucky for me. Look how strong this unit is compared to mine. Holy crap. Flier, not in range. Lloyd, not in range. This map is super easy peasy now. So I highlight the Flier because the Flier is actually a decent threat. It can move across the river and attack Narcian. It can fly across the mountain and attack whoever's across the mountain. So I got to keep in mind that this unit is potentially threatening. Technically, it has more mobility than the cavalry units at this point. I mean, it's solely because of the map layout. Sully does 6 damage, drops him to 18. Setsuna does 8 damage times 2. Palla does 10 damage. That is exact lethal. Exact lethal. So you need a plus attack Setsuna to exactly lethal this guy. But if you don't use Setsuna, you can overkill him. So, and any other archer. Setsuna's attack is like, what, 5 to 7 points lower than the other archers? Just don't use her for this map. Save yourself the trouble. Unless you're skill inherited. If you're skill inherited, it doesn't really matter. You can use anyone. You can use Niles, and he'll carry the map for you. Probably. Okay, so now I move this way, because if I don't move this way, the mage attacks me, and I don't want to take too much damage. I want to bait these two into killing themselves slowly, and separate them from this side, so I can isolate these 2 units and take them out slowly. And the way it works here, let's take a look again. This guy gets a hone attack from the mage. He walks up. He gets a rally defense as well. Hits for 3 damage with hone attack. That's pretty pathetic. I retaliate using vengeance. 17 damage, 13 damage. Narcian's damage is not that good either. Let's be real. He's pretty weak too. Like all the, in general, all the Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby users, their attacks are pretty bad. Their attack rating. Like very few of them are actually very, very strong. And the reason is because, well, first of all, the weapon itself is not that strong. The might is actually a little bit lower than the other weapons of the same class, of the same tier. But also, those units in general are, by default, without inheritance, just a little bit weaker. Okay, so he lunges Narcian back, but because this guy is a rally bot, he doesn't actually move second, because he has a rally, not a reposition, and because this unit is about to initiate in combat, the rally takes priority. So that's the reason why I don't take 2 attacks. It's just for damage reduction on Narcian, basically. And Lancebreaker is the reason, Narcian's Lancebreaker is the reason why he doubles, because Narcian is slow as hell. And now Lloyd? Lloyd doesn't want anything to do with Sully. Sully's Sapphire Lance scares him. Like, look at his face right now. Look at that. He's so scared of Sully right now. He's making that funny face. It's like no difference. It's like the same face. Oh my god. Yeah, that's the Lloyd face. The Lloyd what face? So he's like, okay, I want nothing to do with that. I'm going to go after the Emerald Axe and deal with the Emerald guy. Because this is easy peasy. This unit takes care of Sully. But unfortunately, I've an archer here. However weak she is, she's still an archer. Archers deal with flyers that don't have Iode shield. And now this unit is completely isolated. Don't do that, Sully, you idiot. Narcian moves down. And because of Lancebreaker, the mage is not going to kill you. It's going to hit you. Just attack. Actually, even without Lancebreaker, it's a kill. Easy. Okay, so I'm going to move back. I don't want to take an axe hit on Sully. I'm going to reciprocal aid for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, I know why, actually. I do know why. Yeah. Because I need to chain heal. There we go. Makes sense. So I reciprocal aid Sully. And now Setsuna has more HP. But I don't think it's actually that useful, is it? Because, yeah, it doesn't actually matter. This unit doesn't die. Or Palla doesn't die. The unit actually hits for 4 damage only. Her heart was in the right place, okay? Setsuna's heart was in the right place. The Axe Flyer is now dead. The Blue Mage does like no damage to Narcian. Vengeance hits the Blue Mage for a lot of damage. Blue Mage still won't kill Narcian next turn, despite him having like 24 resist. What's up with that? And then I move Sully up. So the idea of moving Sully up was to reposition Narcian away. but it's not really necessary, is it? So Lloyd moves forward. He's really hungry for that Emerald Axe. He wants to kill it. But unfortunately, he will never reach me because I can fly away and he can't. All he can do is make that ugly face. So Narcian flies away. I don't know why I flew there. That's kind of there instead of there. That's kind of pointless. I should have flown there. Oh, I think the reason is why because I wanted to bait Lloyd down. But I'm pretty sure Lloyd realizes that he can't cross mountains. And now Lloyd is really far behind. The mage is overextended. And this is essentially the end of the map. Now you go to that tile. Okay, then. Now you go to that tile, because that's, you know, very useful. What am I doing, actually? What am I doing here? What the hell am I doing? Okay, remember, this is my first attempt at the map, so I'm making some questionable decisions. I'm like, huh, what if I do this? What if I do that? What I could have just done was move Sully up to attack. Because I have Swordbreaker, Lloyd is not going to do any damage. Lloyd does, like, less than 5 damage because of Sapphire Lance, and then Swordbreaker prevents his double. So I could have just used Sully to attack the mage, and then Lloyd attacks. I don't think he dies. He doesn't die, but the next turn, Sully finishes him off. So I wasted a turn there. Just like the Reciprocal aid, it was kind of pointless. But my heart was in the right place. I mean, Setsuna's heart. Yeah, I don't even need the other units. Sully just solos Lloyd. 6 damage. Okay, so more than 5 damage, but barely. Oh! I think I realized. Okay, I'm going to turn sound on. I think I realized that it was a wasted move, so I'm going to end it with a fun thing. That's what I did. I turn animations on. Oh, yeah. It's because Narcian's voice is awesome. Narcian and Lloyd have the same voice actor. Yeah, grovel. There we go. First attempt. This was the easiest Grand Hero battle ever since they changed the format to level 30 and level 40 for T3s and T4s as the reward. Prior to that, there was the Robin map. I think the Robin map was actually more difficult than this. But, you know, ever since they changed the format, like, this is just... I don't know. Was it the first map that I finished in one try? Navarre is the only one that... I don't think I finished Navarre in one try either. Because Navarre has those Deathblow ninjas. Or the Deathblow ninja. That guy was really powerful. But yeah, that's the map. Pretty straightforward. But we're not done yet. Let's have a little bit of fun now. Look who's back. It's Henry. Oh my god, it's Henry. Yay, it's Henry. So the idea behind this team is that Robin is the Cavalier counter, counters the color, counters the mage even. Zephiel tanks up this guy really easily, supposedly. Donnel's there for healing and killing Lloyd. Henry's there because... I don't know why Henry's there. I guess he deals good damage to colorless units. That's why. So Henry, with his amazing stats, is going to tank up the archer. Because Red Raven is strong against colorless, this should be no problem, right? Because Henry is so good. I mean, this is the only tile that's in danger. So let's do it. Come on, Henry. Show me what you can do. There's the rallies. 10 damage. Oh, wow. 10 damage. Well, at least you survive. At least you survive with 3 HP. Because you're pretty tanky. That's the thing with tanky characters. If they're slow, they might as well not be tanky. Because they take a double attack. Oh, wow. Weapon Triangle Advantage, 2 damage. At least Robin deals damage to certain units. Oh, amazing. Lloyd takes 0. Okay, so I just kite back. Again, I mentioned earlier, this map is very kitey. I leave Zephiel in range to take care of the Flier. Flier does like almost no damage. This is a T3 Zephiel. 33 damage back. I get lunged. And now Zephiel is super overextended. He's in range of the archer as well as this guy, and this guy has lunge. So that's really bad. Robin can't do damage because this guy has 30-something resist, despite having life and death. So yeah, this is a problematic situation now. Donnel's gonna kill... I still have animations on. I don't know why I didn't turn them off. Donnel double attacks. Zephyl moves down, but unfortunately, T3 Zephyl is not that good. So I move Robin there because the Cavalier is in range, the Bow Cavalier. He's going to attack for 33 damage. Robin survives because she's decently tanky. Hits back with the effective damage, but doesn't kill, unfortunately. Lance Cavalier attacks Zephyl. He actually takes quite a bit of damage from Retribution. And then Zephyl gets lunged back again, and now he's stuck. Because now I can't kill this unit. There are no units on the field that can kill the Lance Cavalier. Donnel doesn't do enough damage. Zephyl doesn't do enough damage. Zephyl loses Wary Fighter. Henry is Henry. Robin is the only one who can actually do something, but unfortunately it's not enough. So the map is over now. So I'm going to try the same idea again, but I'm going to remove Zephyl for Stahl and remove Henry for an actual mage. I've been trying to use, if you haven't noticed, Grand Hero Battle units, like Robin, Ursula, Zephyl. I mean, Xander's is my arena team, but you can count him too, I guess. Narcian. I was going to try Michaelis, but I think Ursula would have been a better choice, because Michaelis doesn't do too well against this team, against the enemy. Even though the blue mage has disadvantage against Michaelis, Michaelis has even worse resist than Narcian, and on top of that, he doesn't have an emerald weapon, so the mage actually deals a ton of damage to him. I don't think the mage kills, but Michaelis doesn't appreciate getting poked by the mage for sure. Okay, so I should probably talk about the map. I leave Robin in range because I know Robin can take a hit from this guy, and the reposition will always go off because this unit is being threatened, and then I can just kite back. It's the same thing as before. You just kite back. Reciprocal aid to heal her, and then we end turn. Same thing happens. Lloyd moves forward, gets repositioned backwards. I can deal some pretty good damage with Stahl, but Stahl is slow. Unfortunate. And this is a little bit of a tricky situation. A little bit. Just a little bit. I need to kill this guy. I already healed, so I know I can kill this guy. I'm just going to leave Robin there, put Donnel down there, because otherwise it'd be dangerous. And the final tile is Stahl's. So this is the exact formation you need for this team. Otherwise you get lunged. So this guy will lunge me out, but because the Lance Cavalier is not in range, he's never going to reach Stahl and kill him. He wants to, but it's not going to work. Now that this guy is in range of all my units, I can freely attack him. So first, Stahl is going to remove the Axe Flyer, and now I have Ignis. Ignis Robin. Ursula has Blue Wolf, effective damage against Cavalier units. Donnel has a Brave Axe, deal good damage. But Ursula's just going to finish him off. Easy peasy. And now Lloyd is stuck. Like I mentioned before with the first attempt. Successful attempt. This map just doesn't seem right. It feels like they were trying to do something really crazy, but then they realized it was too difficult. I mean, that's my interpretation of it anyway. So they went back on what they wanted to do and made the map a lot easier than it should be. Ursula's going to poke. Stahl's not going to do anything. I think I should have hit with Robin first. Is that correct? Ursula does 18 damage. Robin does 22 damage. So I should have attacked with Robin first and not attack with Ursula. I guess it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter because Robin has to attack anyway to remove her Ignis. I didn't want to remove it, and I wanted to charge Ursula's cooldowns. That's probably the mentality I had. So Robin attacks with Ignis. Stahl, don't attack him. You can't deal with him. But I don't want to put Robin here, even though she has weapon triangle advantage against the blue mage. She's at critical HP, so if the blue mage touches her, she will actually die. So I need to move Stahl away and then reposition her into another tile that is safe. 22 damage. And then double attack. Only one of them goes off. Lloyd is dead. The boss is dead. Finally, yeah, this guy hits for 11 HP. So I'm actually going to heal Robin using Reciprocal Aid. Everyone's critically low. Well, the two main damage dealers are critically low. Stahl's going to move aside, because if I use Reciprocal Aid from this tile, the blue mage one-shots him afterwards. So I need to move down here to use Reciprocal Aid and attack, blocking this off so that the unit will never be in range of Ursula. 11 times 2. I don't know why I didn't attack here. I think I made a miscalculation, so I didn't attack, but if I attacked, I would have been at 22 HP. Tomebreaker is still active at 22 HP. I believe. Is it? Does she have Tomebreaker 2 or 3? She has Tomebreaker 3. So yeah, it would have been fine if I attacked, because 22 HP is still within Tomebreaker range. But regardless, it doesn't matter. The map's over. The guy can't kill Robin before Robin kills him. And we just did it with another team. Yay! Okay, final run. I always do this. It's the Gordon team, Gordon and Olivia team. This time it's like literally Gordon and Olivia with a lot of Olivias. It's Gordon's harem. Okay, so again, the key to the map is dealing with the archer. But there's something special that you need to do here. T4 Gordon has 18 speed with a brave bow. This unit has 23 speed, which means that this unit doubles. So you actually need the +1 speed Sacred Seal to do this with Gordon, this Gordon. Otherwise, you need a buff. You need a speed buff. So if you have Hone Speed on a Dancer, I mean, I don't know if you'd ever use this team, but you can use this team if you want. Olivia spamming works. If you have Azura, Ninian, it also works, I guess. The point is, you need to buff his speed, otherwise it gets doubled. If he gets doubled, you just die instantly. 29 damage. Even though he has really high defense, he can't tank 2 hits from him because this guy is buffed with Hone Attack, Death Blow, Silver Bow Plus, and has decent attack regardless. And then subsequent turns are exactly the same. You just kite back, except I'm not going to kite back, I'm going to kill this guy. Bam. Painful damage. And Gordon's actually in a safe tile. Nothing can reach. But I'm just going to reposition everyone away. That's actually a mistake. This is the Wings of Mercy Olivia. I'll show you their stats afterwards, as I always do, but the Wings of Mercy Olivia should be far away from Gordon. Bonfire does 40 damage, then 24. Lloyd explodes. And then I reposition the Olivias away. Again, this is a mistake. The Brave Sword Olivia is the one who can teleport. So there's no point in this thing being there. I'm going to attack this unit first, just to charge the Bonfire. I don't think it really matters, because Bonfire will be up next turn anyway. That's the thing with Brave Bows. Using 3 cooldown skills is probably the best for Brave Bows, or Brave Weapons, because they go 1, 2, and then if they quadruple, it's 1, 2, 3, and then the skill goes off. If they don't quadruple and you have a dance, it's 1, 2, and then 1 skill. It's always like that, assuming the unit survives until that hit, and then the skill goes off. Generally speaking, I think that's the best way to use it. I mean, you're free to use Moonbow or whatever 2 cooldowns if you want, but I think 3 cooldowns are a little bit better. Dance. Double attack again. Just attack. Bonfire. Unfortunately, this Olivia is there, so I think what should have happened was this Olivia stands there, and then Gordon gets a dance from this one, but I do have to wait now, and this Olivia does nothing. And then this guy dies. This is a plus attack Gordon, by the way, so plus attack Gordon actually kills this guy. If you don't have plus attack Gordon, you can't kill. I feel like I've said that before. I feel like the stats on the mage are very similar to the stats on the previous mages or other units that are getting killed by plus attack Gordon, who actually has to be plus attack to kill them. Oh, Grand Hero battles. Why you recycle units? At least their stats. But yeah, that is the Grand Hero Battle for what face? I mean Lloyd. All 3 attempts on Lunatic. I didn't use a single T5. I'll put the characters on the screen. If you want to know what their boons and banes are, you can check the description below. But this map was very straightforward. It was the easiest Grand Hero Battle ever. I don't think that many people will have trouble with this one. And all I can do is hope that they make the Grand Hero Battles more difficult. Because some of them are kind of brain dead, or like the AI doesn't know what to do. Like the Zephyla one, they just keep swapping over and over again. Sometimes the swaps are intelligent, other times they're completely pointless. For this one, the reposition and rally supposedly keep them safe, but not really. But yeah, that'll be it for the commentary video then. If the video was helpful, great. If not, I mean, I don't expect, like I said, many people to have too much difficulty with this map. Maybe like newer players that don't have the right units, but I think you could swap out certain units that I used. You can swap out Sully for Tsubaki. He's a free unit. You get him as a T1, T2 from the hero battles, the daily hero battles. Olivia is obviously free. You can run double Olivia because you get 2 of them. Donnel's free. Get 2 of them as well. What else could you use? Oh, even Stahl is free. Yeah, Stahl is a free unit as well. Just realized that. So Stahl is an option as well. You can do like Tsubaki, Stahl, Donnel. And the final unit is up in the air, or you can use Olivia. I think you do need a green unit though, so maybe not. If you have Robin from the Grand Hero Battle, if you played during the Grand Hero Battle, the first one, or the second one, you should have Robin. Robin's available. She's a good unit. If you dance for her, she kills both of the units, the Cavalier units, in 1 turn. So yeah, there's a lot of options available. If you have Ursula, you can run a Cavalier team, buff her up like crazy. You can use like Gunter. Gunter deals with the blue units decently well. A neutral Gunter. Gunter's also free, by the way. Neutral Gunter has a T4, I think has 22 speed. And I don't think he gets double, does he? No, he doesn't. This guy's 25 speed. So Gunter with 22 speed will not get doubled by this guy. It's an option. Like, there are so many options for this Grand Hero Battle because... I mean, there's so many options for every Grand Hero Battle because there are different ways to approach it, but my method, I think the most simple method is just to kite back, that's it. And to not get lunged into range. But yeah, that'll be it for this video then. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Check out the arena coming out after this. I'm going to do a summon for the battling Lloyd focus. It's actually got 3 heroes that I want. Hinoka, Klein, preferably not a minus attack one again, and Ninian. I actually thought they were going to troll and give us like really terrible units for the focus, but they actually didn't. I don't think I'll be releasing that until tomorrow. We also got the 20 orbs from the voting gauntlet. So yeah, that'll be pretty nice. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you guys next time. Have a nice day, and enjoy Lloyd.
This poking and prodding. What are we, children?